love today's story. Two beautiful sisters who both recognize Jesus, the Christ. The elder one, Martha, she welcomes him into her home. Now, you have to remember, Jesus has been going around, he's been teaching and preaching and healing, and now he comes to their little town of Bethany. How excited she must have been that he said yes and came to her home to share a meal with her and her older brother Lazarus and her younger sister Mary. And that's what they did. So picture it now. They're in the home, and it's not just Jesus. I mean, when you invited Jesus, you invited the disciples, okay? So there's at least 13 guys coming to dinner. That's a big deal. And Martha has a lot of work to do as the head of the household, the woman head of the household, and hosting this impromptu kind of luncheon. And her brother, of course, is doing what the elder, the man of the household, would do. He was sitting at table, talking and entertaining the gents around the table. And Jesus is in conversation with them, and he is also teaching. And yet the little sister, she's not little, she's a grown woman, but the young sister is sitting at his feet, listening to all that he has to teach. She is not being about the household business of serving the men at the table. This upsets her older sister, and Martha comes, as sometimes we do. We don't confront the person we have an issue with, because that would mean I have to talk to you about my conflict, right? So, yeah, we don't want to do that. So what do? We find a third party. In this case, she gets Jesus, and she tries to pull him into a triangle situation and get Jesus to mediate between them. Whoa. Sibling rivalry at its absolute best. This is a great performance. And so you see this happening. Martha is distracted by her many tasks. She is in rivalry with her sister, probably a little jealous that Mary didn't have to do anything and she's doing all the work. And then she gets Jesus to try to make all of it okay for her. And Jesus won't play the game. He will not be triangulated. Instead, he points Martha back in a right direction. Martha, you are distracted by your many tasks. But Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. There's a theologian, S.MoS.E.C by name, who, when reading the better part, that word part, he says, not only can be translated as the word part, it can also be translated as a dish, like a dish set before a king. Oh, I loved that translation. Mary has chosen the better dish. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that's like lobster and steak dinner. I mean, my mouth was watering, and I could totally picture that imagery. Mary chose the better dish, not the cheap chicken, you know? Jesus was calling Martha back into a right relationship, but he was also inviting her to sit down. Martha made her own choices, and she was responsible to those choices. There's nothing wrong. We are told faith without works is dead. We have to be about action for the gospel. We got to put our feet and our hands and our mouth in motion at times. We are definitely called to serve. But there are other times when we just need to sit down and shut up at the feet of Jesus. When we need to allow ourselves to open our hearts, open our ears, and to listen, to be taught, to be guided, and to be in conversation with our Lord. To share with him all that's on our minds and our hearts, and let him share back. There's another story about these wonderful two sisters. And I invite you to go home and look it up. It's in the Gospel according to John. You don't find it in Luke. But But John writes about the second time that Jesus is going to come to their home. Now, the older brother Lazarus, he died, he got resurrected, that's all happened. But this is the third time Jesus comes to their home, invited once again to eat with them. Lazarus is at table, he's entertaining everybody, and Martha is serving. And Mary is again sitting at the feet of Christ. Picture didn't change a whole lot. Mary's going to anoint Christ's feet, remember, with the costly perfume. But there is a definite change in that household. And that is, Martha is now serving with joy. She's doing her gifts. She's following through with what she's good at. And so is Mary. This is what we're called to be about. Grant us this day, O God, not to be overtaken by our anxious thoughts that can make us feel that you are not near to us. Give us this chance to sit at your feet, to enjoy every word and every musical note, that we may feel your real presence, and in turn, live out that presence within our families, our communities, our jobs, and our schools. Prepare us as we journey as your people to worship and to obey. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, the image of the invisible God and the firstborn over all creation. Amen. Amen.